It's that time again, folks, what some may call the very best time of year, a crisp new box of blockies to mess around with. I know there'll be folks who insist on telling me in the comments that they don't like blockies, which is fine. I don't know why they think I care, but this remains a fairly consistent highlight throughout the year for me. Is that terribly sad? No, just a little bit. 9 bad boys with the power to rock you. There's a possibility that instead of the standard Optimus Prime here, we'll get this half grey impaled version. Cool. As ever, if you get the individual boxes, you don't know who you'll get, but if you get the full box like this, 0 duplicates. Alright, that's enough! Let's have a look at these one by one. Each individual box has some bags, with what appears to be individual instructions. So here's a clue as to who we've got. There's also a little card that confirms my suspicions, so let's get into it. First thing here, there's some new stuff in this set compared to the last Galaxy versions, I think. We've got some new ab crunch joints, a thigh swivel, a hip joint, and now we've got some double jointed knees as well. Okay, so Sludge here in the robot mode, I actually forgot to add the thigh armour here, but it's cool to see the new additions at work. But once complete, Sludge really does feel like another step up, and I know I say that every time, but I'll stop doing it when it's no longer true. But the added articulation and the cleaner approach to the overall design makes Sludge here kinda stand out against the other Dinobots, especially the Grimlock. And it's not a deal breaker or anything, it's cool to see them all together, but yeah, there's definitely some aesthetic differences that stop the team from feeling like a cohesive unit. We've got this little gun for the boy too, so it's all go if I'm honest. Blitzwing is up next. We got a little Blitzwing in the last Defender set, so time for the bigger boy. All the same upgrades in articulation, and a lot of additional pieces, the tank treads and the turret on the back, and I think they're moving towards a less stylised approach to the proportions overall. Again, it's great, but when you stand them next to the first few blockies, they're starting to show their age. Not the fault of this guy, who looks fantastic of course. Those knees add a lot of posing potential, and with his gun and sword as accessories, it's a really cool addition to the set. Look at him, and the wee man there. Marvellous. Next up, it's only Metroplex. So much brand new tooling on this guy, coupled with all new articulation too. He isn't any bigger than the other toys, but the proportions make him feel like he is when in isolation. I love the detail on the sculpt and the gun, and the additional arm cannons are wonderful. And look, he even comes with a little decoy style Optimus Prime that pegs into his hand. Now I am a little bit biased due to my love for this character, but all in, this is probably my favourite blocky Galaxy version they've released so far. Look who it is, the Chaos Bringer, Unicron. Well, Unicron's head. I like how the instructions include his slogan. This build was a lot of fun. There's a lot of detail on areas like the skull that show that they're taking a bit of a Lego approach to all the builds. All the detail that gets covered up, but it's entertaining when you're mid-build. Look at him chomp. You know, once everything's together and popped out on this flight stand, it's a fun little Unicron model. We get a little ship too that you can put in his mouth. Fantastic. Our next friend here is G1 Optimus Prime. Now of course we've had this style of Optimus Prime in the past, a few variants in fact, but this feels a bit more streamlined in terms of proportions and adheres more to the cartoon colours. I think standing them next to the previous style shows how different they actually are, and of course he takes advantage of all the new articulation points. I wonder if they're pushing down this route with proportions as an answer to the all-day toys. They aren't as lanky as those lads, but I think it's smart to split between the more stylised proportions you get in the Defender set and the more series accurate style for the Galaxy sets. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, this is great. Well, if it isn't Hot Rod, the boy himself in full maroon and orange, I love it. This is a real treat of a toy. I love those proportions. Again, the detail is pared down a little bit, which is welcome, and posability's through the roof. The best parts though, we get this big pizza cutter accessory, which is fun, but we also get this. The fishing pole, with a little Sharkticon hanging off the end. Toy of the year. Metroplex actually has a bit of a challenger on their hands. Oh, looks like that Sharkticon grew up pretty quick with the next model. Look at this little maniac. I like a Sharkticon, folks. The boy doesn't come with the double jointed knees for some reason, but there's so much to enjoy, I don't mind. I think they'd be able to retool this into an alt mode fairly easily. It's all there on the back, you can close the mouth and it's basically there. Check his little wiggly tail too. What's not to like? Ah, calm down. Sludge gets some more time in the spotlight with their dinosaur mode. The boy is so chunky. Again, a step up from the other Dinobot toys so far. Better articulation, the sculpt is more in line with my own preferences, it's super clean. I suppose to some it might be annoying that this causes some discrepancies between the Dinobots when put together, but it's not as pronounced in this mode. Maybe with the Grimlock though, yeah, we definitely need a new one of those. The one major feature that really made me fall for this set is this, a little set of bugging out eyes. You clip them onto Sludge's head and we can recreate that moment from the '86 movie. Toy of the Year! Shrapnel is our final visitor, and they're... Look, maybe I shouldn't have left them until last because they're a much more standard model. Still a great sculpt, and things like the thigh swivel and the hip joints add a lot, and you can hide a stupid face like this. Not the most exciting way to end, but it's a strong example that they're doing things right over at Blokees HQ, and like Kickback in the previous set, Shrapnel comes with a mini Insecticon bombshell. Look at his little antenna wiggle, isn't that cute? And on that bombshell, that's the whole set. Again, I think this is a step above what they've had in the past. It's the extra articulation, the smoother sculpts, the proportions. I think now that the Defender set style has really started to own it, this really works. It makes me wonder how far this whole thing can go, how much articulation or the part count is too much. It has to plateau eventually, doesn't it? I mean, do you think they could maybe release a chunk of Unicron in every box until we get a massive combiner? I mean, you'd probably need an additional kit to combine them, and God knows that wouldn't be sold in Europe, but it's a fun idea. Bye.